I think it's fair to say that we're having a lot of fun doing these topics, and every time we actually try to talk about a topic, we're getting 10 more new topics. So, welcome back to Ground Kernel to Major Nerds, to another episode. We have another really, really good topic to talk about today. Thank you for your constant support, guys. We're getting a lot of feedback, we're getting a lot of messages, we're getting a lot of emails on groundcontrol2majornerds@gmail.com. Please do keep sending those out, and it is helping us, motivating us to actually look forward to more and more topics to discuss and bring it forward to you guys, and let's keep this experiment going. So yeah, without further ado, um, let's introduce my constant co-host on this podcast, Parvesh. How's it going?
Pretty good. Not much has changed since last week. Yeah, I'm Parvesh, business analyst, gaming expert, and anime expert.
Nice. All right, Ashwini, how's it going, man?
It's going good. Hi to everyone who's joining in. My name is Ashwini, and I am still recovering from the IPL finals. And what a wonderful final! Really entertaining, super competitive, a great finale to a very competitive season of franchisee cricket in India. And obviously, commiserations to Shreyas Iyer and the Kings 11 Punjab. They played a really good season. But massive congratulations to Rajat Patidar and RCB for finally reaching the promised land and winning an IPL trophy. Special congratulations to Virat Kohli for uh, persevering 18 years. Uh, to all the loyal RCB fans who have been through a lot of humiliation and memeing and a lot of jokes on them, but they finally become champions. So celebrations and party for them. I just want to add that this is going to brilliantly tie up into today's episode because RCB's journey is about human spirit. And I feel like what we're going to talk about today is also about human spirit because human spirit allows us to take extremely dangerous journeys into the unforgiving and hostile environments of space. And yet, we are all there for this space mission that we're going to talk about today, right? So, yeah, that's what my mood is today.
For our non-Indian listeners, we're talking about cricket. So we're talking about the IPL, the Indian Premier League, and the RCB is the Royal Challengers Bangalore. So
Right.
that's what we're talking about. So yeah, congrats to RCB for winning their first IPL title. And that brings us to our topic today, which is about the AX4 mission that's going to be launching on June 9th. Depending upon when this episode comes out, we will be, um, either talking about it after the mission or before the mission. But regardless, in our next episode, we're definitely going to talk about the success story of the launch. So, what is this mission? So let's dive into it. So, who are Axiom Space? So, Axiom Space has been founded in 2016. It's a company. It's a privately owned company. It's one of those private space organizations that have come up in the last 10 to 15 years in the US. And their mission is to own and operate a modular commercial space station for the greater mission of human spaceflight and in space research, and also in space manufacturing and space exploration. So they are trying to put the foundations for space exploration, in space research, and also all sorts of scientific missions, but not just limited to the US, but a multinational effort. And that's their mission statement for their company. They're aiming towards actually uh, working towards the International Space Station retirement and having a space station of their own to replace the ISS. And that's what they're actually working towards. The AX4 is their fourth mission in space in this effort. And this mission specifically is a 4 crew member mission, with the crew members being pretty significant that are going into space. Uh, the mission commander is Peggy Whitson. So she's an Axiom employee, and it's her fifth space flight in this mission, on this mission. And she has got some really, really fun facts, actually. She has been uh, a veteran astronaut, American astronaut. She has the most amount of time spent in space, which is 675 days. It's really epic. And she's the first female commander of the ISS, International Space Station, and the only woman to serve as the ISS commander twice. She's also the first woman to command a private space mission, which is the AX-2. So she was a backup on AX-1 and AX-3, I believe, but she was the first woman to command a private space mission on AX-2, which is the Axiom-2. And also, she's the first ISS science officer. And also, she holds the record for the most spacewalks by a woman, 10. So that's a crazy resume for this mission's commander. Next up is Sudhanshu Shukla. He's the mission pilot from ISRO, representing ISRO, and it's his first space flight. He's the group captain of the Indian Air Force, and he brings his Air Force experience to this. And also, he's also part of the uh, Indian Astronaut Corps, and it's a very significant milestone for him for this mission. He's also going to be part of the Gaganyaan project, and the greater ISS mission for the 2030 astronaut program for ISRO. So that's another significant crew member. The third crew member is Slavoj Uznansky, and he is a mission specialist and representing ESA, which is the European Space Agency. This is also his first space mission, and uh, his call sign is Slaw. He's also another significant member, and he was part of the astronauts reserve class of 2022. And he emerged as one of the candidates from a pool of 22,500 candidates. He has a strong background in science and engineering, and he's going to be one of the main mission specialists on this program. And our fourth member is Tibor Kapu, and he represents the Hungarian uh, Space Agency. He's also from a strong scientific background. He's going to be conducting multiple scientific, medical, and engineering experiments on his mission now, on AX-4, and he's the second mission specialist. All right, so this is, I think, a good time to bring in Parvesh to talk about what the mission specialists' roles are on this mission, and what are the scientific aspects of this mission that are going to be about.
Thank you. So basically, what I've done is I have some notes here. What I've done is I have broadly classified them based on what type of research it is. The people who want to do the research are basically Axiom Aerospace and a few other partners. ISRO is there doing their research. The ESA, European Space Agency, and Poland are doing their research. And HUNOR, which is Hungarian to orbit, they're doing their research as well. So broadly classified, the types of research that they're planning to do is student-related public interest research. Then they have tech-related research. After which they have research related to like astronaut health and what happens to people in space, like long-term effects of space on astronauts. And they have research related to biology fields, and stuff related to like the physics field in general, right? So starting off with the student public interest related research, they have like a radio to connect with the public. It's basically like an amateur radio station where they talk to students, they can answer questions, things like that. Then I believe they ran a few contests in Brazil, Nigeria, and even Saudi Aerospace, even in Saudi. Um, so the winners of those contests, they have those tests being done in space. So from Brazil, they have like a Mars collision related experiment being done. They have pendulum effects being done from Nigeria's contest. And they have microgravity challenge. They have like hardware experiments and art being featured from the Saudi space contest, right? They have also like a STEM outreach service for students. This is being done from Indian side, and from the Hungarian side, they have like another outreach program where they have like basics for kids, where the basically the astronauts are talking to the others, to the kids. They want to connect to the people down here and to give them awareness of how things are up there, basically. So then let's move on to the tech, where they have edge computing for crew readiness demonstration. So basically, that's like it's they develop and test digital infrastructure to analyze data from their like wearable devices, if they're wearing like a watch or something like that. So it's basically they collect that data and analyze it to see how human performance is affected in space. This is being done by Axiom and their partners. They have a data processor called the Leopard Data Processing Unit, which is installed in the ISS, and this will be for people to remotely test algorithms in space. So they won't need to actually go back to test it. So they can just use that data processor remotely and test it. This is being done from European Space Agency, ESA side. There's a project which will use like a radiation monitor. Even that's being done by the ESA. They have like a radiation monitoring to see space radiation levels and how they'll affect people, and like it'll help to plan future missions to know if you know how much radiation you're gonna experience when you go on a single mission. They have a few others. They have like a wireless acoustics project. They have a project that is basically like a fabrics based project where they want to test different fabrics in space and see how it gets affected by the gravity up there and all the other parameters. And they want to use that for future suits, right? So that's also a Hunar project. Apart from that, they have a bunch of experiments for astronaut health, which is our other broad classification. They have basically experiments for for astronauts, insulin dependency. That is, if someone has insulin dependency, diabetes, or something, can they be supported in space? They have another experiment where they're checking how muscle degeneration happens in space due to microgravity. They have a bunch of other experiments that collect overall wellness data, like how they are psychologically, um, like when physiologically, and cognitive data they take. They have a neuroimaging study. Um, there's an experiment on the use of computer screens, like because they'll be using computer screens constantly, how that affects the astronauts' health. So they're monitoring all these parameters. There's also an ongoing experiment which they've done before as well. This is like ongoing experiment to see the effects of the microgravity on bone density. So most of these are astronaut health based. You can see more even on the Axiom-4 website. They have a lot of interesting biology related experiments going on. Basically, they have a project to see how cancer cells behave in uh, microgravity, and they want to see if they can detect early warning signs. Apart from that, ISRO has a bunch of biotech related projects where they've sent a bunch of seeds into space. Once they bring it back, they want to see how they can grow it and see any genetic changes um, in the structure of the seeds as well. Apart from that, they've also have an investigation on the revival, survival, and reproduction of tardigrades in space, which is really, really interesting. I want to see how that pans out. So maybe we can do something like that in the future as well. Maybe look at some of the results of some of these experiments. A tardigrade is a space bear. It's like a tiny little thingy animal that has super survival. Like it can survive extreme conditions. I'm not a biologist, so I don't know more, but that's the extent of what I know.
I have a question to ask.
Mhm.
These are all experiments that are really technical and super serious. If you guys were in charge of what experiments we can do, what is the wackiest experiment that you could come up with?
Yeah, see, I'm a fan of Uncle Roger, so my experiment will be making egg fried rice in space.
Same.
Like, apart from that, there's another one, right? I want to, you know how when like water all balls up in space?
Yes.
Mhm.
I want to boil that and put pasta in it and see what we can get from that. Will it still be like that? Will the pasta become like that? It's physics, okay? It's not
No, it
cooking.
is. By the way, this topics may like the listeners might feel like it is something wacky or we are just trying to just have like take a dig at it. But no, these are actually serious experiments that could be taking place in future commercial space missions because at the end of the day, human exploration is what they are looking for. So yeah, cooking in space is something that could be a topic of concern.
Yeah, Axiom-10, pasta in space.
Yeah, you may never know because I think
Exactly.
these missions are actually gearing up to that. If you think about it, like the Voyager display mission, right, to see the effects of the human factor side of constant exposure to displays. For example, that's something for me coming from the avionics side. Like we do a lot of human factor study on aircrafts on like how displays or like how pilots get strained on displays while flying.
That's one of the
So.
experiments they're doing. Also, there's like an experiment where they're doing like cyanobacteria growth
Mhm.
rates, cellular response, biochemical activity, and stuff in space.
Yeah, I think there are more than
There's
40 experiments they're actually conducting up there.
Yeah,
Uh,
and they're even taking up like fruit fly larvae and stuff, I believe, and
mhm.
doing
Hmm.
like radiation study on the like basically the radiation in space, how that affects their DNA
Yeah,
to like fruit flies, larvae, and adult fruit flies, whatever. And from the physics side, there's a lot
I
less. They
personally
don't have too
believe
many.
that these are all heading towards space tourism, right? So essentially, these guys are doing experiments to see what a future would look like where uh, tourists and regular people are spending time in space. And not just very short missions like we've seen recently of 11-minute flight from Blue Origin. These are extended periods of time where people will need replenishment, where people are going to need food, they're going to live, they're going to sleep in space, they're going to spend months in space doing activities. So essentially, we're going to look at all sorts of angles and all sorts of activities that can be done in space and how they will be different from Earth. I personally am looking forward, like you mentioned with cooking in space. I'm looking forward to seeing an Anthony Bourdain in space sort of a show. I'm looking forward to seeing a MasterChef space where Gordon Ramsay is judging people on the dishes that they've created using some special methods that are only possible in space. That is the kind of things I am looking forward to, and it would be great to do such experiments. It would be great to see what is the taste of food, because we know for a fact from previous missions that smells are different in space. Smells are a little more muted. Oils do not have enough uh, chemical components to give you the same smell that you would receive on Earth. So, does food taste also change? If you are cooking that pasta in space, is it going to be equally cheesy? Is it still going to have that really nice marinara taste? So, these are all really great experiments, and we should really do these so that eventual space tourism is great. I'm looking forward to doing our episode, a podcast in space, where the three of us can actually be in space and talk about space.
Imagine floating upside down and doing this.
The setup on Earth is only this difficult nowadays, so we have to make sure.
Well,
you know,
is my Wi-Fi connected?
yeah. Effects of microphones in microgravity.
Yeah,
Anyways,
that's
um,
our project.
yeah. But yeah, so this is a very critical mission with a lot of potential to understand future space exploration, and you know, I think it is going to be an exciting outcome. I think to discuss after the mission, and looking forward to the results of it. But I want to touch back on the crew members itself, right? Like, I mean, their roles. So, 4-member crew, it's a very interesting concept to have 4-member crews and 2 mission specialists. Uh, just to discuss, like the mission specialists have always been like those guys who do specific roles on the mission, and they are given like uh, a lot of instructions other than the task of getting up there in the ISS safely. So I think it is like really crucial for these mission specialists to get their executions correctly while they're there in the lab. So I think they have a very critical task, and uh, the 2 crew members who have their first space flight, I think they're gonna have a critical role on this mission. So that's what I wanted to point out. Like, it's gonna be really amazing to see what they do up there.
If I can just jump in here very briefly and talk about one aspect of this entire mission and space travel in general that is not often discussed, and that is the legalities and space laws. Okay,
Hmm.
so very quickly, I'll just bring up to all of our listeners that there is something that is space law. It is an internationally regulated law that is governed by the United Nations, and it is a framework of rules and regulations that all participating members have signed on to. The governing body for this is the United Nations Office for Outer Space Affairs, and their main body of work is the COPUS, which is the Committee on the Peaceful Uses for Outer Space. The most important work that these guys do can be fitted into 5 or 6 major points, which are their key elements, and that is sustainability and preservation of outer space. There is a promotion of international cooperation for peaceful exploration of space. There is a utilization of space science and technology for the economic and social development of humankind. That is what is the framework for all of these experiments that we have just discussed. And most importantly, there is a provision for liability for any damages caused due to space technology failing or being misused. So potentially we look at if there is a disaster, there is environmental damage. So in this case, there is environmental protection from harmful space activities, and there is also protection against exploitation of space, which is a question that I'm pretty sure a lot of listeners will have, who have previously seen only national entities or national space programs go into space, but now we are looking at private companies venturing into space, right? So there is always a question: will there be exploitation? But there is a governing body called the UNOOSA, like I said, and these guys help in maintaining the status quo in space and ensuring that ultimately this is a body of work that is of international cooperation, that we are not conquering a star or a moon and saying that this now belongs to this country. All of space belongs to all of humankind. And there is continuously a theme of international cooperation that all of humankind is represented as one when we go to space. I will quickly shout out two people who I have been following for the last 3 or 4 years now. One of them is Deepika Jayakodi. She curates this series called the Explainer series, and it is a series of blogs that discuss space law. She has done her space law, and she's one of the front runners in introducing regulations and laws for this entire activity. And the second is Dr. Narayan Prasad. He runs a podcast called the New Space India podcast. It's a very interesting podcast, covers the legalities of space missions, and I have had the privilege of attending a few lectures that he gave. So the two people who are doing some really great work in space law, and if you as listeners want to get more knowledge into this space, then definitely follow them.
It's cool. Yeah, definitely. With that being said, Ashwini, what do you have got for us for the ISRO side of things for this mission specifically, if we have to talk about that?
Right. One of the most important factors for me for this mission is the participation of India and the participation of ISRO in the space mission. And if I can just explain my point via an example, uh, in 1983, there was a Cricket World Cup that India won. And uh, as someone who was born in 1990, I was obviously not present when this event happened, but I have read about the heroics of the legendary cricketers in London, and I have been told about players like Ravi Shastri, like Kapil Dev, who won us this Cricket World Cup trophy, right? So for me, they are legends, but they are legends because I have read about them. I was not there to personally witness this. However, in 2011, there was another Cricket World Cup, which India won again. And fortunately, the finals was in Mumbai at the Wankhede Stadium. And I was present to personally witness these legendary group of cricketers again succeeding and again making this was a moment that was created, and I was present for that moment. And for me, these guys are legends because I was able to witness, I was able to connect with them as humans. I was able to see the celebrations that were all around me. And this is very similar to India's journey to space, because in 1984 there was Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma who went into space. And for my father's generation, for my elder brother's generation, he was a legend because they were there to witness this when this happened. However, for me, I know he's a legend, but I was not there to witness this. I have read about him. However, I was there to witness uh, the Chandrayaan 1 in October 2008, when
Yeah.
it was successfully placed into the lunar orbit, and it was able to confirm the presence of water molecules. I was present in October 2013 when the Mangalyaan successfully launched and orbited the Martian orbit, and it was a mission that was completed in a record low budget. So I was with all of my countrymen celebrating this achievement. And the Vikram
Yes.
lander successfully did a soft landing on the lunar south pole. So I remember being at work along with my teammates, and we put up this huge screen, and we were watching the live telemetry data coming from the YouTube channel of ISRO, and we all celebrated. And for us, it was a huge achievement when this happened. So coming back to this mission, after 40 years, there is an Indian who's going to space, and for me, the group captain Sudhanshu Shukla, or as we now will call him call sign Shuks. For me, I am invested in his journey. This is someone who I associate with. He himself was born in 1985, and I was fortunate enough to see his live press conference on YouTube, and I'm going to quote what I identify with. And he has said that I hope to ignite the curiosity of an entire generation in my country through my mission. And I want to share my experience through pictures and videos with my Bharatvasis. For I believe that even though I am traveling to space alone, this is the journey of 1.4 billion Indians. And I agree. Uh, we are all going to be with him when they are counting down and heading to space. We are all going to pray as they dock into the ISS and spend 2 weeks there conducting science experiments. And we are going to welcome them with open arms once they are back. And we are going to all attend all of the programs that they're going to do and discuss these missions. 1.4 billion Indians, I'm pretty sure 9.5 million Hungarians, and 37.6 million Polish people, and the rest of the world. For all of us, this is a very special mission. It binds us all coming together to witness this miracle of going to space and then performing some really good experiments and coming back. So that is what my emotional connect is with this. And as for what is ISRO's role, we have witnessed for the last 10, 15 years now that ISRO has prioritized uncrewed missions. They have wanted to send crewed missions into space, but due to budget restrictions, they have prioritized uncrewed missions, and they have had quite a few successes. The last being the Aditya mission that has been placed into the L1 orbit, and it is currently uh, monitoring the coronas coming from the sun. It is monitoring the solar wind that is generated. So they have had some fantastic successes over the last few years. And I remember in 2018, when on 15th August, on the Independence Day for India, the Honorable Prime Minister said that a son or a daughter of India is soon going to head into space. That is happening through the AX4 mission. But ultimately, this is all gearing towards the Gaganyaan, which is a crewed mission of 3 people that was initially dated to launch around 2018, but then was delayed due to budgetary constrictions. And now we are looking at possibly a launch date of 2026. So all of the data, all of the experiences that Shooks receives on his mission to space and comes back, I'm sure this is all going to be vital for the learnings of Gaganyaan. And I'm pretty sure that his experience in space is going to provide massive amounts of information and ultimately lead to the success of Gaganyaan.
Yeah, definitely. I think like it's been a long wait for the second astronaut from India to go into space. And regardless of the reasons, I think it is a big celebratory moment, and it's a very like a big pride moment for India and all Indians. But like also in general, this mission, I think it's going to be a very, very big mission for like a four nation, uh, you know, collaboration coming together with a privately owned, space organization, like training them and putting them up there for the mission. So I think it's an amazing story, and it's an amazing journey that these astronauts are having, and I think it's going to be a like an amazing uh, success story once we you know go ahead with the launch, and hopefully there's no more delays for the launch due to the weather reasons. So yeah. um I would like to circle back on like the aspects of like the launch itself. So the launch site actually is the Kennedy Space Center LC-39A, which is the legendary launch pad which hosted all the Apollo missions, the first moon landing and the consecutive Apollo missions after that. And the launch vehicle actually is the SpaceX Falcon 9 Block 5, which is the fifth generation SpaceX rocket, which has been successfully, like, I think we like recently has launched the 500th mission uh, for SpaceX. And the Crew Dragon, which is actually hosting these four crew members, is having its maiden flight. It's actually Crew Dragon C213, which is the fifth iteration of their Crew Dragon vehicle, which is gonna have its maiden flight, but also it has been tried and tested and put up crew members into the ISS before. So it's in terms of the vehicle and the machinery behind as well. It's actually a pretty stellar uh, vehicle, and it'll be a pretty stellar launch. It's gonna be like in the LEO orbit, so low Earth orbit, and it's gonna be specifically gonna be in sync with the geocentric orbit reference system. So it's they're gonna be flying pretty fast up there. Basically, that's all I'm trying to say. So yeah, and their landing site is actually the Pacific Ocean near Los Angeles, or the San Diego area, depending upon what coordinates they decide to at the time of entry. So yeah, so I think it's a pretty stellar mission, and it would be a very beautiful launch to witness to from the Space Coast. So yeah,
The Kennedy Space Center is the one in Cocoa Beach, huh?
no, it's in the
Sorry,
Cape. It's
Cape Canaveral.
Cape Canaveral, dude. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry,
You
Cocoa
lived
Beach
in
is an internal
Florida for
joke.
3 years.
No, no,
For
no.
goddamn
Cocoa
sake.
Beach is an internal joke between me and Ashwini. Don't worry about
Okay,
that.
cool. All right, that's fine. That's fine. All right. With that being said, yeah.
I
Go ahead,
just
Ashwini.
wanted to clarify with everything technical that Shrikant has said, if it goes over the head of listeners, if I can summarize this mission in a very layman language, essentially there are space travelers who are going to use the Uber of space, which is SpaceX, and they're going to go to the Airbnb of space eventually, which is the Axiom setup once it replaces the ISS.
ISS, yeah. I mean, currently they're going to the ISS. They're not going to the Axiom mission
Right,
station or
right,
Axiom
right.
station.
But
Yeah.
they're eventually making the new Axiom station, which for layman people, Airbnb in space.
Yeah.
Maybe we can use Airbnb to book a room in the future.
Yeah. Maybe that'll happen.
Could you imagine if space tourism really picks off, which I'm pretty sure it will? Can you imagine having an app to book tickets to space where you launch off, you have space activities? Oh, we're going to get some drinks on the moon, and we're just going to do this drive around the asteroid belt. And then, if it's fine, the weather's good, we'll have that long drive back to Earth.
What
Road
weather?
trip.
There's no weather in space.
Yeah, there could be an asteroid
Yeah, but
patch in the middle.
right, the coming back into Earth,
Always
coming
an
through the atmosphere.
asteroid.
All right. So that was our episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I think we had fun discussing the different possibilities of this mission, going through the details of it, understanding what it means to us and what it means to ISRO, and also to the ESA and Honor, and the three crew members who are going to be having their first space flight. It's exciting times, and yeah, we're looking forward to the launch, and I hope they have a successful launch. So that's it from us today. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope
Thank
you
you.
guys see us again. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our
In the
videos,
comments.
and also please do leave comments and your thoughts on the podcast. Please do give us your feedback. We are trying to improve every single episode. We're trying to bring in new topics and new aspects of aerospace every single week. So please do keep flowing down your feedbacks, your comments, your appreciations. It does help us a lot. It does motivate us a lot. So, yeah, thank you all for listening. I hope to see
Thank
you guys
you.
next time.
Bye.
And
See
all
you
the
guys.
best to all of the crew members. Go. All
Yeah,
the best.
all the best.